right. I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, that's a new security feature from Zoom. Anytime you start recorder, it's going to say recording in progress. So you all know.
So
Okay.
it gives me the option to leave the meeting if I don't want to be recording.
Oh, yes, that's right. Right. Or turn off your video. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I have today questions that are going to help me with my next speech project. And my next speech project is, well, it's really just to finish it off, is to organize a celebration for this year's accomplishments, Incredible Communicators. So my questions here are basically asking you advice on what to do. And I've also just added some in because I didn't really have enough. So I added some in just about the summer. So who would like to be our first table topic speaker?
I can jump in first.
Okay, great, Dan. Okay, Dan, I'll do a grammarian check for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So Dan, give me a number between 1 and 14.
9.
9, okay. What smells remind you of summer? What smells remind you of summer?
Thank you, Steve. So the question this evening is, what smells remind me of summer? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the smell that first comes to mind when I think of summer is the smell of the ocean. I go to the ocean every summer. I've been doing that since I was a kid. I've typically gone up to Maine or the coast of New Hampshire or Massachusetts, and we go to the beaches there and we see the different sites that they have, the beaches, hang out at the beach all day. We like to walk around on the rocks as well. And the very distinct smell that you get from low tide especially is very memorable. It's not, maybe not the most pleasant smell. It's very, very salty. And it is also kind of pungent. And one thing that I remember specifically is when you go into one of the places that we visit is York, Maine. So when you go into Maine, you do drive by this area that's right along the ocean. And there's a lot of rocks. There's a lot of little tide pools. And when you go by there, you get that very distinctive smell of barnacles and seaweed and algae. And it's kind of like, it's almost like it's rotting, which is not necessarily the best thing, but it does bring me back to when I was a small child and even a teenager and going to the beaches of New England. So that is the smell that definitely reminds me of summer. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Great job. Wow, that makes me want to be in New England. Okay.
I did not know that the ocean smells.
Oh, you didn't know that, Anne? Oh, wow.
I don't.
Wow. Yeah, see, we don't know about the ocean here.
Actually
Okay.
visited York Beach August of 2019. My husband's from that area, and that's.
How about that?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lovely area.
Yeah.
Okay, who would like to be our next table topic speaker? Okay, Sharon. Sharon, a number between 2 and 14.
7.
7, okay. What foods do you like to eat in the summer? What foods do you like to eat in the summer?
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I've been asked, which foods do I like to eat in the summer? There are 2 foods that immediately come to mind that make summer a tangible, palpable thing. That is watermelon and corn on the cob. Watermelon, I can remember as a kid, I don't do it quite so much now, but getting the seeded watermelons. Nowadays, it seems like they're always unseeded. But we would sit on my grandmother's steps, my brother and my sister and I. We would eat our slices of watermelon and we would spit the seeds out and see who could spit them the farthest, which my grandmother said, when you're done, you got to sweep all those up. The other thing, corn on the cob, it just, when you boil it, and I boil it just enough to give it that crisp texture so that when you bite into it, the little kernels pop. And sometimes they pop across the table where they pop into your mouth and they just fill you with that. And I put salt and butter on them. So it fills me with that salty, buttery, sweet corn taste. So those two foods in the summer are my absolute favorites. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Well, now I want to get some corn on the cob. Yeah, corn on the cob is delicious. I was thinking of watermelon too when I wrote that question, but I like the corn on the cob even better. Okay, who would like to be our third speaker today?
Well,
Okay, who was that?
that was Glennis,
Oh, Glennis. Okay, good, Glennis. Pick a number between 1 and 14.
number 1.
Okay. How should our club celebrate our accomplishments? How should our club celebrate our accomplishments?
I've been asked the question, how should our club celebrate our accomplishments? Interesting question. Actually, I'd never thought about it before. However, it is something that you should think about because it's something that generally people don't do. They don't celebrate their accomplishments. They always think about the issues or where things went wrong. That seems to take precedence over everything. However, we really should stop and think about what we accomplished. Many times we accomplish much more than we realize. And I think that's probably true with our club because we don't always know the accomplishments. We have our team members, or excuse me, our club members that are completing speeches, they're completing certain pathways, and they're getting recognition and getting awards, but we don't really publicize them within the club. I believe it's something we should do more often. Great, Abe, I don't have mine yet. I think it actually will help the club and it will boost morale and it energizes if we receive that recognition more often. I know you're planning something here. However, I think it's something we should do on a regular basis. For the past year, in my mind, I would think providing recognition, letting everybody within the club know the awards that everyone else has received. Right now, we're not meeting in person, so we probably would have to do that via Zoom. And I'll let you figure out the rest, Steve. Back to you.
Okay, great. That gives me some great help for this celebration. Thank you, Glennis. Okay, who would like to be our next table topic speaker?
Hey, Steve.
Okay, Shehu. Shehu, a number between 2 and 14.
14.
Okay. What award have you received that you treasure? What award have you received that you treasure?
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster, we don't have any guests. So the question is, what award have I received that I treasure? Thinking back, I look at my certification award for CISA. I think I don't really look at it then, but now I just thought about it because I did it several times. I didn't give up. So it's something that I should treasure because I put in the effort. I did not allow myself to just give up the second time. I went ahead to do it again, and I passed that certification, and I was awarded the certification, and the award was sent to me. I don't think I've really opened it today. I don't know why. I just left it back somewhere. And after this meeting, I might go check it and see what's in there. But I did not give up. I did it the first time. I remember somebody, we started it together. After the first time, they did not take it the second time. Not to say that like I did it the third time, and today he's not certified, but I did it. I think I should appreciate that. I should be able to look at it and be grateful that I challenged myself to do it again. And the third time I was able to get. So yeah, I'll say my CISA certification is something I should cherish because I didn't give up. Back to you, Steve.
Thank
What
you.
is
Yeah. Yeah, what is it?
CISA, by the way?
It's certified system auditor.
Okay.
Certified information system auditor.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, thank you, Shaker. Okay, who would like to be our next table topic speaker?
I'll go, Steve.
Okay, Nagam, a number between 2 and 13.
I'll take 10.
10, okay. Tell us about a favorite summer memory. Tell us about a favorite summer memory.
I can't think of anything.
How about when we set the lawn on fire?
Oh, that's your story to tell, Nor, not mine. I just got one. Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I was asked a question. What is a favorite summer memory of mine? And it was a bit difficult for me to think about because I usually work during the summer. I take breaks. My vacation is 2 weeks, and I even break that into 2 separate weeks because I think I'm OCD or a workaholic or something, call it whatever name you want, but I cannot usually stay home for longer than a week without doing anything. However, last summer was something that I was looking forward to because it was one of those years where winter and all other seasons just seemed to drag on with the pandemic and with everything else that was going on. It was really hard to, as patient as I am, a person, it was really hard to put up with everything that was going on. Work was really weird, different. You have to be the mother of all mothers, and to your children, to your husband, to you, everybody you know, and to your coworkers as well. And it was tiring. When summer came, however, I did absolutely nothing. I took the time to just enjoy not doing anything. We went out to parks a lot. My husband and I went to one of the ones that stuck is the Heritage Park in Taylor. It was my first time visiting, and I loved the lake, the serenity of just looking at the lake, sitting by it and feeling the breeze, the palpable breeze on your face, and enjoying the moment and not thinking about anything was, I believe, the best summer. Although the burning the grass was a much better story, but I'll leave that for Nor to tell. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Oh, great, great. I've never been to Heritage Park in Taylor.
It's
I
beautiful.
Really?
Go
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Now I got someplace to take my grandkids to. Okay, now who would like to be our next table topic speaker. Everyone's going to get a chance. So
I'd like to go, but instead of answering the question, can I tell the story of how I set the grass on
yes,
fire?
you just got the same question as your mom. So go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Well, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, it was in the evening and we had just gotten this, I don't know what you call it. It's not a grill. It's like, you know, where you like put the wood on top and then you start a fire. Oh my God. But yeah, it was, what is it?
A fire pit.
Fire pit, yeah. But it had like a mesh thing under it, and then it had legs, so it was over the grass, like directly over the grass. And I don't know, we just put the wood in there and we lit it on fire, and we expected nothing to go wrong. And we were all just sitting in our chairs. My dad and my brother and I were sitting around the fire. My mom was on our swing set all the way in the back. And we were just chatting, we were roasting marshmallows, and all of a sudden, just a bunch of ash just falls through the mesh onto the grass, and the ground below just erupts in flames, and everyone's rushing. My mom like sees there's like a blaze over there, and she's like, wait, what's going on? She like jumps off the swing. I like sprint to get the water. But through all of this, the best part is my little brother was sitting on a chair and just maniacally laughing. And I that's like the only thing that I can't forget. I'm just running back there to get the water, and my brother, Mustafa's just sitting there laughing at the fire, doing nothing. But that's a memory that just sticks in my head. It was terrifying, but also hilarious when you think about it later. Fellow Toastmasters and Mr. Table Topics Master.
We didn't end up burning the house, if that's what you're all wondering.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
We put it out. I got the water there fast enough.
She was actually the fastest of us, fastest thinking. She got the water hose and boo, started spraying.
Uh-huh. Well, your retelling of that story made it palpable.
We have a fire pit, and of course we make the point not to put it over the grass. It's always on concrete or the patio area.
No, my dad took action. He built like a whole thing like under it. It's like 2
After-
miles long just in case.
Okay, who would like to be our next table topic speaker?
I'll go.
Okay, that was Ross. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good, Ross. It's good to see you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm home. I'm not at work, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, Ross, a number between 2 and 13.
is 10 taken?
You'll get 11 then. You just go on
Okay.
to the next one. What state in the United States would you most like to visit in the summer? Which state in the United States would you most like to visit in the summer?
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. That's fairly easy for me. And in the summer, I would like to, if possible, visit Alaska. And it's such a wonderful state, and so much nature and wildlife and so many activities to do. And as most of you know, that it's, in the wintertime, it's not the ideal place, with a lot of the places being covered with snow and not accessible. And I heard it's, even though it's limited in terms of the places that, you can visit even during summertime, because of the rough terrain and all the other aspects of it, still be very interesting to visit that state. And the biggest thing over there that I've seen so far is the thermoprost. I'd like to see what happens to that when you go in summertime. Because I've seen, one of the things that I used to watch was Ice Road Truckers, and where they go ahead and drive over the frozen lakes and the other things. And seen some other adventurous stuff where they get stuck in the mud with the thermoforest. So it'll be interesting to see how that in summertime, what happens with that. And as you could, the palpitations of that state versus other state is pretty obvious because it's unique in terms of the sights and the scenery that it offers. So if I had the opportunity to travel during summer, that's the state that I'd like to visit.
Great job. Yeah, that's where I would like, I mean, I have been there in the summer and that was the best state to visit in the summer. You also get daylight really like all day. Okay, who would like to be our next table topic speaker? Okay, Abe.
I go next.
Abe, a number between 2 and 13.
4.
4, okay. How do you like to celebrate accomplishments of a team? How do you like to celebrate accomplishments of a team?
Okay. Fellow Taskmasters, Mr. Table Topic Master, the question is, how do I like to celebrate accomplishment with a team? I will piggyback what Gladys just said. It is very important that we celebrate accomplishments, especially with things that we do here that is voluntary, but very helpful to everybody, right? We gain a lot of personal development and successes, but we seldomly celebrate individually or as a team. It is palpable that those celebrations are needed. So to me, in my opinion, what we will need to do is either through these virtual meetings or whenever we go back to the building, to have some more time together. I am a big fan of eating pizza. I'm a pizza guy, you know. We can have any type of food. I will be there. And I think it will be a good thing. And yeah, that's all for now.
Okay, good, good. So there's a vote for a pizza party.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good.
I missed, what were you trying to accomplish from the topics?
Well, my project for my level 4 pathways is to have a celebration party to celebrate the club's accomplishments over the past Toastmasters year. So
Okay.
that's
We
what
can talk later because I have a lot of ideas.
Oh, great. Oh, that would be great.
You know, I do this all the time with
Oh.
staff and parents and
Oh, great, great. Okay, okay.
So
Okay.
is this going to be real or just online?
Well, my idea was it to be in person. That was my idea.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see if
Because
that'll
if
go
you
over.
are saying pizza, you're not just going to show us the picture pizza party.
Yeah. So
No, he will ship a slice to everybody.
yeah.
So Steve, you were thinking in person, were you thinking at one of the Ford locations? Because
Oh no.
Okay, you were thinking-
No,
okay.
not at a Ford location. No, that's
Okay.
not. Yeah,
I didn't think so.
I was thinking outdoors at a park.
Okay, because I don't see us actually going back to in-person meetings at a Ford facility for a long time.
Correct. We're not going to be able to meet in Ford till next year, till 2022.
Even then,
Even then, yeah.
Even then, it's optional. It might be optional though, like if you want to go.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, right now you can't go in unless you got a reason to go in.
but even from what I understand, and when we are allowed to go back to the office, it's as we need it. If we don't need it, and there's no real reason, then we will continue to work from home.
Right.
A team collaboration or something, then you
Yeah.
go to the office. We won't have, I guess, our own workstations we'll
Yeah.
have just whatever's available when we get into the office. I don't even know what building I will be in, so.
I think we are going back to the Ford Credit building, like downstairs. It's not like you're gonna have a space, but there's gonna be like your team space. So anyone walking can just go to that space, so you don't have any desk.
So you already know that your team's going for Ford Credit?
Yeah.
Oh, your team's going to Ford Credit, but you weren't in Ford Credit before.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
ITHQB. I think they are
Wow.
gonna
Wow.
sell ITHQB also.
Wow, okay, wow.
And when?
Uh,
Shay, you went- they don't know yet?
I don't know yet. They are trying to still clean out everything, but now they are parking those F-150. If you go there now, that's
Oh.
the old parking spot is filled with F-150.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
That means there's something wrong with them.
I think the
Oh.
chief, they are waiting for the chief.
Yeah, they're waiting for chips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
We are partially built and
Yeah,
waiting for the team
right.
to finish up. Yeah.
Well, Steve, did you want to answer one question or?
Yeah, well, did everybody get a chance to go? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
okay,
you.
yes. Okay, yeah, Sharon, give me a number between 2 and 13.
11.
11, okay. So that'll go to 12.
Oh,
Do you feel safe to stay in a hotel, eat in an indoor restaurant, or travel on a cruise? Question again is, do you feel safe to stay in a hotel, eat in an indoor restaurant, or travel on a cruise? No, I don't feel safe to do any of those, any of the above. Now, if I was vaccinated, I would feel safe, but I'm not vaccinated, so I don't, to me, that would be pretty risky to do any of those things. So as an alternative to a hotel, well, a hotel, actually, I might stay in because I got like no choice. If we go on a vacation this year, there's kind of no choice but stay in a hotel, unless we stay in the van, but which is, I don't think my wife will stand for that. So, so I think it would be, in a hotel, I think there's no way around that if you go on a vacation. But eating in an indoor restaurant, I could always get the food to go. And then traveling on a cruise, I don't want to do that anyway until I'm maybe quite a bit older when you can't walk around. So that besides not being safe, I don't need to take a risk for that. But what I would do then, because I don't feel safe, and if I did stay in a hotel, is I would just have some backup plan, and I would order some ivermectin and have that on hand in case I were to get flu symptoms. I would take it. Mr. Table Topics Master. Okay.
You said you will order what?
Oh, ivermectin.
What's that?
It's a drug for parasites, but it's it's very effective against. It's the most effective. Well, actually, it's the second most effective thing against COVID.
So
Other
you
than
use
that.
that inside the room?
Oh no, I would have it as a pill, and if
okay.
I get flu symptoms or feel sick in some way, I'll start taking that ivermectin.
So
How
why
would you
don't you
get
just take the vaccine?
Because I don't feel it's safe.
Okay.
But you feel the other thing is.
Oh yeah, that drug's been around for 50 years.
So you haven't been to a restaurant this whole time?
No, we haven't been to not an indoor restaurant. We have, gotten food to go, but yeah, I have not been in an indoor restaurant yet.
I
Haven't
have
been
that.
on a cruise, but I've been to restaurants and in hotels this whole time, even
Oh.
before the vaccine.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the hotels, they do a great job of cleaning, and they explain to you the things that they do and some of the I mean,
Oh.
of course, they're saving money and they don't want to do the breakfast anymore like they used
Yeah,
to.
right,
But
yeah, right. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
good. Oh, well, that's good.
I think that's the excuse though. Like, if the people are serving food every other, they just don't want to, like you said, they are
Oh, yeah.
saving the money. There's nothing, you should serve food for people.
I agree.
Yeah,
And the cost of the room doesn't even go down.
no.
You know, it's the same. You just don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
food.
Yeah, well, it's, I would have really expected to go up because they have to
Yeah,
add in
they're-
all this, disinfecting equipment and they also are having less,
So
business.
it's actually some of the places it's so low, it's so cheap because they don't have a lot of people booking at their hotels.
Oh,
We went to Mackinac Island
wow.
last month, I think, and it was super cheap.
Really?
Yeah, really good hotels
Wow.
for super cheap. Yeah.
Really?
Right on the lake.
Wow.
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 That will change though. Like summer started last week, right? So
Yeah.
there's this, my friend came from Africa. So they said because summer is forced, they are going to change the price from
Yeah.
July, June 1st.
Right.
Added more money because
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Yes, trying to recover their losses.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I thank you, Steve, for that fun table topic session. So now Ross, I do see you on the agenda as a general evaluator.
Yes, it's 5:10, so I think we might be able to squeeze one more in if anybody else wants to go a second time or if they haven't gone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I still have some more questions. So would anyone like to go a second time?
Since I asked,
Well,
I
I'll tell
guess
you what,
I'll-
I'd like to ask Nagam a question because Nagam has these ideas for celebration. So I'll ask her one of my celebration questions.
Oh, yes,
So-
go ahead.
So Nagam, I'll give you question number 2. How do you feel about the club meeting in person in a park for a celebration sometime in July? How do you feel about the club meeting in person in a park for a celebration sometime in July?
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I've been asked a question. How do I feel about the club meeting sometime in July at a park to celebrate? And I think that's a great idea. I think I was a bit saddened to hear you guys talk about that there isn't a possibility of meeting in person because I was really looking forward to meeting you all in person at some point in time and having the club in a more, in person to person mode and experience the hands-on speeches as opposed to the virtual ones. However, I think celebrations are needed because we have to always show our appreciation of each other, show our appreciation of the work that we do. And one way to show that is to show it by meeting. What we could do is maybe incorporate some, I love the pizza. That's something that would work. I would also think we could do some games, hands-on games. We've done this last year with our staff where we brought some outdoor games and we all participated and played together. We went to forgot the name of the park, somewhere in Dearborn. We went on the lake, just sat down and talked and chatted. It was very nice time that we spent. I say I'm all for it, and I would love to meet everybody in person.
So quick question. This is to Steve now though.
Yes.
How do you incorporate people who are not currently in Michigan to that party?
Good question. I have a friend who's an expert on that kind of stuff. And so I'll tell you, we have a Bible study, then we haven't been getting together in person for a year or something. So we're going to start getting together in person this Wednesday. And my friend said he's going to be able to set it up so people can join on Zoom. I have to see how he does it. So we'll see how he does that. But he's going to use his iPad and somehow do it that way.
So the pizza, the game, and all that. How do you incorporate that so that everyone?
Oh, okay. Well, there's no way. Okay, there's no way. There's no unless the game is a verbal game.
Yeah. And then one thing we did over the pandemic when I do a lot of staff lunches and we couldn't do them during the year. So what I did was I sent the staff a DoorDash gift card. And they just ordered their own lunch at their own house and ate.
Wow, what a good idea.
Yeah, we did that too on my old team, my previous team.
Okay.
A
So
couple
yeah,
of things on the,
we
you know,
just want to
previously when-
put that in mind because we have people like Dan, and I think he's the only one for now that is part of the club and not in Michigan. So we want to bring everyone together. If we are planning to do this, that would be great.
Yeah, good. Very good, Shay.
We could do a Kahoot game or something. You guys
Well, what
can
is that?
Kahoot? It's an online web form where you put in questions and people click the right answer, and we can make a fun game, not like a tough question or whatever.
Oh, good.
So one of the things that I was thinking about was park thing. So I'm glad that you had one of the questions on there regarding it. And then especially outdoors now that CDC has cleared it. And then the other possibility is like outdoor restaurants also. So if somebody's comfortable with it, they have an outdoor area, that could be another possibility. And one other item I'd like to add is just like, I think we might have to go into a hybrid mode for some time where we have some people in person, some people online. And that's something that we might have to kind of start getting into so that we have some things. And as a suggestion, what I was thinking about doing was, the speeches from the previous manual, there were some on body language. So what if we have a special session for in-person meeting where we have 2 or 3 speakers concentrate on body language and maybe table topics related to body language, so that since we're all on Zoom and on cameras, that we don't really get a chance to practice that this will be an opportunity for us to practice on the body language, whether it's a speech or even table topics.
Ross, are you suggesting for these meetings to move to a hybrid format?
No, that could be in the later, but I'm saying the things that if we have like a gathering, that could be a hybrid format. So the ones that are, either that are distance-wise far away, or if they can't make it, they still can attend remotely and get not all the benefits of it, but at least some of it. So just some ideas, and then I think we're getting to the point where I could start looking at serving the general evaluator role.
I'll give it back to the Toastmaster, Sharon.
Thank you, Steve, and I will give it now to Ross, our general evaluator.
Okay. Thanks, Sharon. And as a general evaluator, I'd like to first start off with the, since we didn't have any speeches, with the table topics, I'd like to start off with the timers report and see the timing, see how, how everybody did.
Yeah, we were all within range. Dan was 154, Sharon was 121, I was 154, Shehu was 201, Nagam was 155, Nora was 147, Ross 143, and I apologize that I didn't change the color to 130 because I accidentally hit it on my phone and forgot I was using both. Abe 121 and Steve 122, and yours is kind of an estimate because for the first 20 seconds or so, I forgot to start. The last one I had already stopped timing, so I forgot about it.
I didn't know if I was giving a speech or just talking.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's great that everybody was within the time limit, and Steve, you had I guess topics that were easy enough for people to address them without having to struggle too much with them. So that's it's good that you know, we had good participation with that. So with that, thank you for the timing, and then I'd like to move on to the general, I guess, well, sorry, to the grammarian.
We have eye counter too.
All right, so that is myself,
Okay.
Dan. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Now I'll give a quick rundown of my comments on everyone here. First, Sharon, great job. Not a lot of room for improvement. Your vocal variety I thought was very good. I liked how you used pauses. And one thing I liked in particular is how you said the word agenda. And I think I caught this. Agenda is actually plural, technically. And the word agendum is singular. So if you were to go to a meeting in the future and say, here are the agenda, that is technically grammatically correct.
Wow.
I found that out a few weeks ago. Now, next, Steve. Also very good job. I noticed you used the word and a few times, which didn't seem to be necessary in those circumstances. Shehu, good job as well. You used the word like a few times. One thing I noticed when you were talking is that you raised your voice at the end in a few sentences, almost like you were asking a question. Nora, I like your enthusiasm. You used the word like a few times. This is something that I do as well. Glynis, no issues. Yeah, great work, grammatically wise. I also like how you did not pronounce the T in the word often, which is unnecessary, so I hear. Nagam, well done. A few usages of the word and. Ross used you know, which is something I do as well. Used and a few times, which was potentially unnecessary. You said cause instead of because, which is something I also do. Abe, well done. Just a few ands that were potentially unnecessary. Steve, when you were doing table topics, you repeated I to start a sentence. Likewise, you said kinda instead of kind of. And you started sentences saying so frequently, and you repeated yourself saying so that. And I, Nagam, on your second time, you said you know a few times. And that was generally all I had. So back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Okay, Dan, and I was doing grammarian for you, and I liked your use of the word pungent and also the word barnacles. Both were very picturesque.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Dan, for the detailed grammarian report. It's good to get the feedback so that we could improve ourselves and at least notice the things that we don't generally are aware of when we're speaking. And I did like the image that you sent about the beach. I mean, that kind of set the tone for the meeting. So good job at that one. So with that, I'd like to move on to the counter.
So, for Dan, I counted one and one For Sharon, I got nothing, but she did use the word of the day. For Glynis, I counted one false start. For Shehu, 1 for Nagam, 2 and 1 word of the day. For Ross, 5 ahs, 1 3 you know, and 1 word of the day. For Abe, I had 3 ahs, 1 1 and word of the day. And for Steve, 3 ahs, 2 ands, 1 Xerox, and 1 pause.
Okay, and I was doing an ah count for you, and I was listening very carefully. I did not pick up any ahs, but Dan did pick up the word like, which I didn't pick it. I didn't notice it, but you were totally clean. Yeah.
Great, and I'd like to thank our volunteers for filling in, Glennis for timing, Dan for grammarian, and Noor for the eye counter. And since we don't have any evaluators with no speakers, I'd like to turn the meeting over back to the Toastmaster for roles for next week.
Do you have any general comments for how you thought our meeting went today?
Yeah, generally I thought the meeting was thanks Steve for following up, and I know there was some family time that you had set aside, but thanks for attending and hosting the meeting. And then I think it was really good that you were able to pick up the table topics that are relevant and the ones that people can quickly relate to, and especially if it's something that's going to be beneficial for your upcoming speech or upcoming, then it's good to get a feedback in this way, and look forward to your accumulation of the ideas and see how you're going to implement those.
Very good. Thank you, Ross, for being our general evaluator and leading the evaluation session. So I would like to ask if anybody's got any success stories that they would like to share. It's been a couple of weeks since we met, so.
Yeah, I've
Okay, Steve?
got one. Have any of you heard Jim Farley's interview with a lady? I forget the lady's name, but he did an interview with her. Okay. Well, I thought the interview was great. I shared it on Facebook. He didn't, and I want to point, he had no ahs, or anything like that. And this was all impromptu because it's an interview. I mean, it's like a talk show kind of thing. And he was none. And so I partly get some credit for that because I was sending him his ah counts. And because of me sending him that, his coach bought him a buzzer that he wore, and she would buzz him every time he would say and he apparently learned. He didn't, I mean, he talked great. He just talked great. See, the thing with him is that I noticed he's a really good talker, and when even though he had lots of ums, you still like his talking, but he was so much better without the uhs and ums. It just made a huge difference. If you can, I mean, I'll send everyone that YouTube of him doing that.
You said it's on Facebook?
I shared it on Facebook. Yeah. But it's also, I forget where I got it from. It was on the Ford site, and Ford was referencing it from YouTube or somewhere, and I shared it from there.
Okay. Well, that's a good news story, yes. It makes the pain of saying ahs and ums more palpable if you have a buzzer. All right. And Glennis, how about I return it to you and see if we have any assignments for the future.
Sure.
Oh, you're still our VP of Ed, right?
Yes, until the end of the month.
Okay. So any assignments for the future, I guess.
Get rid of our pictures. Okay. Well, next week we have 2 speakers to